So, on Thursday, I posted a video that was very critical of some decisions that had been made surrounding the Apocalypse DLC. Those points still stand, and in general I feel DICE could have done a much better job regarding implementation and content for this last big drop before the train starts rolling for Battlefield 2018. However, there are a couple of points I'd like to highlight today in this video that I think DICE nailed in this DLC. Firstly, I think they did a great job with the Passchendaele map. This environment is essentially the example vision of World War I that I guarantee 90% of people would think of when talking about the conflict. Completely decimated ground by artillery shells, broken and destroyed buildings, makeshift barricades and trenches, the air full of gas and fire literally everywhere you look. It's hell on earth, basically. Trees are reduced to tall sticks, there's embers flying all around you in Augustus Wood, and there's even remnants of settled gas in the puddles on the ground. It's an extremely bleak but truly incredible landscape at the same time. The ambience, the character of the map throws you right into the battle, and if you crank up the volume on your headphones and set the audio to war tapes, you'd be hard pressed to find another first-person shooter currently that offers you that level of immersion. It really does envelop you in what's going on. I'm tempted to go as far as saying that this is the best map in Battlefield 1 if it weren't for the presence of Amiens. The urban warfare there is extremely hard to beat. But even the small details, like various wooden plank walkways that have been laid through the mud and wooden boards that are stacked up that you can prone behind for cover, all of these details are just part of a melting pot, and it really does offer some of the greatest immersive gameplay that you can get in Battlefield 1. The gameplay is largely dominated by infantry, but there is some armour presence on the map as well. There is one tank per team that can spawn at any one time, and that creates sort of side objectives for both teams. The tank can destroy what little cover there is left, and splash damage from the cannons on the side is quite influential to the overall battle. If there are lots of enemy infantry hauled up in a certain area, maybe they're all inside a destroyed building hiding at what's left of the wall, fire a shell in there and you'll see them all come scurrying out trying to find new cover, and if they're already low on health, you're probably going to pick up a couple of kills as well. Grenade spam has always been a bit of a problem in Battlefield 1. At the launch of the game, the effects were almost intolerable, but now, over time, with nerfs to the grenade throws, the resupply times on those grenades, and the screen shake slider, that's made their presence much more bearable. However, had a map like this, Passchendaele, been included in the base game of Battlefield 1, truly representing that staple image of World War I and its conflicts, then I don't think many people could have argued how influential grenades would be, or still are in the game. This environment is perfect for gas grenades and incendiary grenades to just go flying in numbers, stick and frag grenades sending bodies ragdolling off into the sky. Grenades were thrown in their millions on the Western Front in those trenches during the war, and here on Passchendaele, my frustration at being killed by grenades is somewhat subdued simply because of the setting. I think it kind of fits in here. So no matter how annoying it really is, thematically here I'm willing to accept how powerful grenades actually are. Another big plus, at least for me in this DLC, is the Howl automatic rifle, and this is 2 DLCs in a row now, with Turning Tides coming before and the Farquhar Hill, that I've really liked the new medic class additions. When Apocalypse was first detailed, the description wrote about brutal tools and unique weapons, but unfortunately, the weapon selection for the DLC, in my opinion, is somewhat mediocre. The Assault class has an SMG, that's a cut-down version of the French DLC machine gun, the Chauchard. The new LMG is a cut-down version of the Maxim machine gun that the Sentry uses. The 2 rifles added to the Scout class are great fun to use, but they don't strike me as unique. And the Mark 6 revolver is another weapon that sits as a fairly standard addition to Battlefield 1. The Howl, however, is really good. This is a modified SMLE made to fire in semi-automatic mode, so you can see various changes on the outer housing of the weapon to make that possible. You've got some extra metal structure around the bolt piece, and that would protect the user's eye as it flew back and forward after each round was fired. And of course, you've got those weird offset iron sights. They're definitely something that you need to get used to. It fires quite fast, and switching the iron sights to AA sights on the factory, even though they're still offset, can make it a really deadly weapon to use at mid to long range. The iron sights are quite obstructive. The AA sights, I would say, aren't as accurate because there's a bigger hole in the middle of the AA sight, so you don't quite know where the bullet is going to land, but you can at least see more of what's going on. And you add to that the iconic SMLE firing sounds, the whistles and the cracks that the rounds make after they've been fired. You can hear those for quite a long time, and you have to remember, this is a bolt-action rifle converted to a semi-auto rifle, so all of those sounds of the SMLE in the Scout class have been brought over to the Medic class, and it's just got a great sound when you fire it. Really crunchy, really meaty sound on it. And using this rifle on Passchendaele, I think, matches the Apocalypse DLC description almost perfectly. I'm taking part in one of the most infamous battles of World War I, I'm fighting the enemy, and I'm using a unique weapon going over the top of the trenches. It perfectly matches the description, and it's one of the biggest highlights of the DLC for me. Another thing that I think DICE got right with the Apocalypse DLC were the weapon assignments locking away all of the new weapons and those variants. After 3 previous DLCs of annoying the community with these outlandish challenges, it seems the team have finally hit a home run swing. All of the base variants of the weapons and the Ross rifle are only locked behind one task: get 50 kills with the class that weapon is in. The factory variant of the RSC SMG, the Howl Automatic, the LMG-08's low-weight variant, and the Ross Rifle Marksman are then unlocked once those 50 kills are achieved with each class, and then players can move on to the second variants. And these assignments then require you to use the first variant you unlocked alongside a second task within that assignment. So there's a clear, natural progression to the tasks that you're being asked to do. All of them also ask you to play to the class's strengths. So for example, to unlock the Howl Automatic Sniper variant, alongside getting 50 kills with the factory variant, you also need to score 600 points of healing in one round. You need to use the Medic class, play it to its strengths, and make sure you're dropping meds for players all the time for those that need it. And I know for a fact many new players to the franchise were quite upset when content they've paid for, these new guns, ended up being locked behind assignments. But to be honest, it's not really a new thing. I do understand why people find it frustrating, but this has been around since Battlefield 3, and that launched in 2011, so this setup has been around for a while. In Battlefield 1, however, and I think this is the complaint, it was the outlandish tasks that some previous assignments set that the community took issue with, such as having to destroy 2 planes with LMGs to unlock the MG14 Parabellum. So it's really nice to see DICE get the weapon unlocks right in this final DLC, and I hope they take that forward into Battlefield 2018. So despite the last DLC for Battlefield 1 not really hitting the spot for most players, there are some aspects to it that really stand out to me as well implemented, quality content. If you're one of those people that's really enjoying the DLC and you like most of what's going on, then that's great for you, and I'm happy that you're enjoying it. It's just from my point of view, I can see quite a few flaws that weren't present in previous DLCs. It's these points, though, that will keep me happy over the next few months. I've got weapon assignments still to do, I haven't unlocked everything yet. I do have new specializations to do, I'm not touching afflictions, trust me, I'm not going anywhere near those. And Passchendaele is by far one of the best maps in Battlefield 1. That's going to keep me entertained over the next couple of months or so, as we move towards the time where EA and DICE will be gearing up to talk about their brand new Battlefield game. Thank you very much for watching today. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section, and I'll be down there reading and replying to as many as I can. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and you've turned on notifications. Click that little bell. Make sure notifications are set to all, and you'll see that little bell icon there on the screen. But thanks very much for watching again, and until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.